Welcome to Informed Mind, where we break down complex topics for you. What's something people don't know about the US presidential election? It's different from what you might be used to, and it can be a little confusing. We don't just count up all the votes from everyone in the country. Instead, we use something called the Electoral College. Think of it like a game within a game. On Election Day, you're not actually voting directly for the president. You're voting for a group of people called electors. These electors are pledged to vote for a specific candidate. The candidate who gets the most votes in a state usually wins all of that state's electors. It's kind of like a winner-takes-all situation in most states. This is where it gets interesting. So, how many electors does each state get? Well, it depends on the state's population. Bigger states with more people get more electors. For example, California has a lot of electors, while Wyoming has just a few. The total number of electors is 538. To become president, a candidate needs to win at least 270 electoral votes. This system was designed by America's founders to make sure that all states have a say in the election, not just the ones with the biggest populations. Think of it like a puzzle. Candidates need to win enough states, and therefore enough electoral votes, to complete the puzzle and reach 270. Now let's talk about how we get to Election Day. It's a long process that starts with primaries and caucuses. These are like smaller elections held in each state. Voters from each party choose who they want to be their party's nominee for president. Think of it like a big tournament. Candidates from each party campaign all over the country, trying to win the most votes in these primaries and caucuses. The winners of these smaller elections then face off against each other in the general election on Election Day. That's when everyone gets to vote. But remember, you're not voting directly for the president, you're voting for those electors who will then cast their votes for the candidate you chose. Section 4. Counting votes and declaring a winner. After all the votes are cast on Election Day, the real drama begins. Each state counts up its votes and figures out which candidate won the most votes in their state. The winning candidate then gets all of that state's electoral votes. A few weeks later, the electors from each state meet in their state capitals to officially cast their votes for president. Then, the votes are sent to Congress to be counted. Congress meets in January to officially count the electoral votes and announce the winner of the election. The candidate who gets 270 electoral votes or more becomes the next president of the United States. Section 5. What if nobody wins? Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. What happens if no candidate gets to 270 electoral votes? Maybe there's a tie, or maybe a third-party candidate wins enough electoral votes to stop either main candidate from winning. In that case, the House of Representatives gets to decide who becomes president. Each state gets one vote in the House, and they keep voting until someone gets a majority. It's rare, but it has happened before. So that's the Electoral College in a nutshell. It's a complex system, but it's how America has been electing its presidents for over 200 years.